and welcome back to my channel. Let's learn together. So today we will be solving activity 7.4.1 of English book of class 9. So let's see what this activity has for us. Read the following visa interview and identify the language features that are associated with power and authority. Then, rephrase those sentences to neutralize the power in the conversation. Later, share your responses with the class and submit a copy to the teacher. That means here a visa interview has been given between the visa officer and a person called Nilu. So they have told you to read this entire conversation and to find out those specific places where instrumental power or influential power or authoritative language has been detected, and you have to write them. Afterwards, you have to rephrase them by neutralizing the power of that statement. Okay, so let's read this entire conversation. All right. So let's start. Nilu, good morning, sir. Visa officer, good morning. Hand me your passport, please. Now hand me your passport, please. If you can feel this sentence, then you can see that this part feels a bit more like it's an order that hand me your passport. Okay, it's not demonstrating politeness that much. It's more sounding like they are ordering you in a very direct or straightforward way, even though it was supposed to be a bit more respectful. Okay, but we cannot see such sort of tone in this statement. So you can say that instrumental power is being demonstrated here by the visa officer. Then Nilu said, "Sure, sir, here it is." Visa officer, "So what's the purpose?" So what's the purpose? This statement is also somehow demonstrating instrumental power or an influential language, because the tone of politeness or respectfulness is not very much evident in this statement. Okay, it sounds more like bargaining with the candidate of visa. It's like asking them for some account. It sounds like that kind of directness is evident in this statement. Then Nidu, sorry, could you repeat that? Visa officer, okay. Why do you want to go to India? That means, look, after visa officer said that, so what's the purpose? He didn't really make it clear that what he is asking for, or what sort of purpose he is asking. Or he didn't say that what's the purpose of your visit to India. He just asked what's the purpose. So it's more, it doesn't sound really professional. It sounds authoritative but casual. Okay, so Neelar couldn't understand that. So he asked him that, sorry, could you repeat that? And then visa officer repeated that, okay, why do you want to go to India? So this is also a kind of tone which doesn't demonstrate that much politeness or respectfulness towards the candidate. So you can say that this is also demonstrating some sort of instrumental power. Then Neil said, it is the book fair, I mean Kolkata. All right, so he told that he's going to the book fair in Kolkata. Then the visa officer said that, I see. And what else? This is also a kind of instrumental power, because look, it doesn't really sound like a professional tone. I see, and what else? This sounds more like a casual tone, which a visa officer shouldn't be talking in. Okay, so you can also say that this is a sort of instrumental power, because the professionalism or the respectfulness is not evident here. Then Nilu told the reason. Then visa officer say, your first time visit and you will travel alone, right? I think that will be challenging. What is your opinion? So I think that will be challenging. It is like proposing a doubt towards the candidate. Okay, so you can also say that this is an example of instrumental power, because showing such sort of doubt to the decisions of people, that is also a demonstration of authority, okay, over someone else's decision. It was supposed to be like the visa officer could have shown a concern rather than a doubt by asking that, are you ready to face the challenge? He should have asked it in that manner rather than saying that, I think that will be challenging. It's like he is giving a predictive statement of what kind of journey or what kind of circumstance Nilu will have to face in India for traveling alone. But it was not supposed to be asked in this manner. Okay, so this is also a demonstration of instrumental power. And then Nilu said that, I believe that challenge is a part of life, all right. Then next up, the visa officer is saying that who is paying for your visit. Now look, when we ask someone for some financial details, we must maintain specific tones in our sentence so that the person doesn't get offended in some way or doesn't feel like we are forcing them to tell their financial details. However, in the statement, this feels like it feels to Nilu, or it should feel to Nilu, that this is some sort of order that the visa officer is giving to Nilu, or it's sort of a forcefully it's like forcefully asking Nilu to tell that who is giving Nilu's expenses, because as this is a confidential information, it is not supposed to be asked in this tone. Okay, so it sounds very direct and a bit impolite as well. So you can also say that instrumental power has been demonstrated here. So Nilu, she answered it by saying that myself, I saved money from my part-time job. All right. Then visa officer said that you have to explain this part. This thing is also a demonstration of authoritative language. Okay, this could have been more polite. That could you please explain this part a bit more, or or in details? Okay, that would sound more professional and more and more inclusive. Okay, or else it's sounding very demanding. Okay, for the visa officer. Then the next one, then Nilu told about that how she saved the money from her part-time job. All right. Then the visa officer asked that, have you ever traveled outside your country? Then Nilu said, no, sir, I have never been. If you look at this statement of the visa officer, that have you ever traveled outside your country? Though this is an important information to be asked, but if you see that the tone of asking this question is again sounding a bit influential, or it's like the uh, visa officer is being extremely direct to the candidate, for which the tone of respect or politeness is not being much evident in his statement. So have you ever traveled outside your country? It's like directly imposing a doubt or a question to the candidate. Okay, rather this same thing could have been asked but in a more neutralized tone. We'll see it later. So this is also a question to be marked where instrumental power has been detected. Then Nilu said, no, sir, I have never been. Then visa officer asked her that, do you know anyone in India? Nilu again said, no, sir. Then lastly, the visa officer said that, all right, let's see what I can do for you. Nilu said that, oh, thank you so much. All right. So that's it. Uh, we basically have detected that the visa officer basically has tried to show instrumental power in his question answering session. He has tried to be more straightforward rather than really being polite or respectful while asking different questions to the visa candidate. So in that regards, we will be rephrasing these marked phrases for the visa officer. Okay, all right, then let's go and see the answers. So if you can see the answers over here, that look, at first the language features associated with power and authority have been written. So these are those same statements that I had marked in the conversation, and this is the neutralized version of the conversation. So look, at first the statement was that, hand me your passport please. So the rephrased version of it could be, could you please hand me your passport? Look, this one sounds, firstly it sounds professional, and the demonstration of power or much influential power is not evident here, so you can say that this is a perfectly neutralized statement or a question. Then visa officer, like the next one is, so what's the purpose? So rephrasing this one, it would be, could you tell me the purpose of your visit? Look, you can see the difference. You can evidently see the difference that in this statement and in this statement, there is a very big difference between the representation of politeness or respectfulness or professionalism, basically. Then the third one is visa officer. Okay, why do you want to go to India? Then this one, if we rephrase it, then it will be, may I ask why you're planning to visit India? Then the fourth one is your first time visit and you will travel alone, right? I think that will be challenging. So what's your opinion? If we rephrase this, then it will be, it is your and you plan to travel alone. Do you feel ready for the challenge? Look, I said at that time the visa officer statement sounded more like a doubt or predicting the future events. Okay, which is not really appropriate. So when I rephrased it, I gave that, do you feel ready for the challenge? It's more like showing a concern rather than uh, posing a doubt on the candidate. Okay, so this one is definitely more polite or respectful. Then the fifth one is, who is paying for your visit? So if we rephrase it, then it will become, can you share who will be covering the expenses for your trip? So this is a bit more, the tone is a bit more respectful than the previous one, to be asking some financial details, which is definitely confidential. And then the sixth one is, you have to explain this part. This is like this tone is very demanding. So if we rephrase it, it will be, could you please explain how you have arranged the funding for your trip? So it's like a very polite way, or a way to be asking about financial details again as a request. Okay. Then the seventh one is, have you ever traveled outside your country? So rephrasing this part, it will be, have you had the opportunity to travel outside your country before? This is like a more this is like a more, polite tone to ask for previous travel experiences, and it is definitely sounding more professional than the previous one. All right, then I think you have picked up the answers, and if you feel that you should add some more statements, then definitely I would suggest you to do so. So for today, that's it. I hope you found this video informative, and if that is so, then please like, share, and subscribe. And if you need any sort of improvements in these videos, then let me know in the comment section. For today, goodbye. We will meet in the next video.